Okay. So, hello everybody. Welcome to the YouTube channel. And this is Moise. Today I got brand new video for Python. Okay. The one who are learning Python. This is one of the most important thing to know, right? For a Python developer. You might have heard about structured query language. Basically for the database and all, right? So here, today in this class, we are going to learn about the structured query language, one of it is SQLite3, which we are going to use in Python. So SQLite3 as one of the important thing we should know. Okay. So first of all, let us rename this as SQLite 3 underscore 1. Right? Now, in order to start with this, the first step, as always, importing. Right? See, if you are new to this, no worries. Okay. Nothing to worry. Yeah, just one thing I would expect the one who is listening this or seeing this is nothing but you should have a bit knowledge, basic knowledge about the Python. Okay. Yeah, a bit knowledge so that you can understand it more and more clearly. Still, if you're new to this, already a video have been created for the Python basics. So and new updates will be there. So stay tuned and let's start with this thing, right? Okay. Starting with this, first of all, as same, whenever we have to bring anything. So install that, or if we're already having import. Import is a keyword or what the words where we are going to bring the files or we are going to import the things here. Okay. In order to do various operations, we have various libraries. In order to bring that libraries, we use import SQLite 3 as SQ. Now, SQ here is the main thing to understand. SQLite, SQLite is nothing but 3, SQLite 3. It's a library. Okay. And now, see, here, basically, what is happening here now? I'll just tell you that wherever I have to write this SQLite 3, okay, wherever I am going to use this SQLite 3 word, okay, while doing applying the operations and all, in that place, what I'm going to do is nothing but going to substitute this SQLite 3 as SQL. Means wherever I'm writing SQLite 3, I'm going to substitute SQL, SQ. Okay, not even SQL, SQ. Okay, just for an understanding part. If you want, you can. If you don't want, you can just leave this and just type it as import SQLite 3. Simple. SQLite 3. Okay. Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, this thing or that. Anything else is possible. You can use anything. But for me, I'm compatible with this. So just going with that. Okay. Not I am, but most of the people will be compatible with this. Okay. So better to use this, or if not, I'll just show you a few examples. So what I will do, first of all, I'll just import SQLite. I won't give an substitute word for that. Import SQLite 3. Okay. Let it get import and yeah, connecting itself. Yeah, importing. Yeah, already imported. Now, see, if you want to, if you want to create a database, if you want to connect to any database, we are going to use some stuff here. Okay, we have to connect something to the database. So what we are going to use here is we are going to create a database, create a database. We're going to create a database. Okay. In this one, first of all, we create a database. Okay. Then we'll create a table. And for an understanding, we'll create a column. Words, Python is case sensitive. And so be careful while writing the words. Okay. And whenever I have to zero, I'll just use, okay, just for a note, make this thing clear that note, I'll just make it as a subheading or just for your note. In order to execute, either you can go here and run the things, or else you can just click the button and it will run. It's run on, but yeah, still here you'll have a button like this. You can just click on this and you can run this, or else you can use Shift or Control plus Shift. Control, if you are in Windows, then use this thing, Control plus Shift. Not only it will just run your cell, but also create a new cell. So you don't need to do that. Shift and enter in order to execute this thing. Okay, this is nothing for execution part. Okay, only while you have to run. Okay, I'll just tell you how. So first of all, I have to make a connection. So I'll just name a variable as A. Most probably people use connect and we'll give like SQLite 3 dot connect. And you can give the database. See, here I haven't connected any database, so I'll just write here demo.db. Okay, demo.db. I'll just write the database name. And what I'll do, I'll run. So my database has been created. Or connect, I can use another a equals, okay, sqlite3 dot connect. Now here what I can use is like day dot db or practice.db, anything. We are just creating a database, by the way. Anything we can, any name. It's just for the practice part I'm just giving, okay? Practice.db. And now here what I will do, in spite of clicking this button, okay, in order to, just for clicking this button, what I will do, and if you are either in Jupyter, you can apply the same thing, okay? Just write C control plus shift and it will get execute, means the cell will get run. Control shift, what I told you, it won't only run, but it also create a new cell. Create a new cell for you. These are some shortcuts. So try to remember that. That is the most important thing you have to know. Okay, you have to remember that. Create a new cell. If I want, okay, it's fine. Now I want to create a table. Okay, before that, this is how I'm going to use SQLite. But I told you, I really don't want to use SQLite. In place of SQLite3, I just want to use SQ. Okay, so what I will do, I'll just Control Shift and okay, my bad. First of all, this is not Control plus Enter. Sorry, Enter Shift. Yeah, Enter, not Control. Enter, Enter Shift, Enter Shift, and you'll get this. Enter plus Shift. So now here, from here, okay, from here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use A equals. Now here, what I was using SQLite, right? In place of this, I'm going to use, okay. In place of this, I'm going to use SQ dot. Why I'm using SQ? Because wherever now I declared that wherever I have to use SQLite3, there I'm going to use the word SQ. I don't want to use the old word. I'm just going to use this word. Okay. So SQ dot connect. Okay. And let's just skip one more thing. Track one dot db. And okay, this is how you're going to connect on the last. We have practiced. Now I can just write here b equals a dot. Okay, a dot cursor. Okay, cursor. Now what is happening here is this is nothing but basically a simple thing. What I'm going to do, I'm going to connect, and this cursor is nothing but to interact with my database. Interact with my database. Example is simple, right? See what I'm doing. Basically, a raw code I just show you. What I'm doing here is I'm writing sq dot connect, okay, and giving the database name. Okay, whatever your database name is there, give the database name, and then dot cursor means in order to interact with that. Okay, and here Python is case sensitive, so dot cursor, we are. So now I already stored this as A. In A variable, I already stored sq.connectDB. That's why while I'm declaring this B, what I'm doing here is I'm writing A dot. Why I'm writing A dot? Because sq.connect is already there here. Okay, already stored in the variable. So in place of using sq.connect database name, I'm just writing A dot cursor. That's it. Right? Clear till here? And this cursor we are using to interact with our database. Okay, if we want to interact with the database, we are going to use this stuff. Now, moving till here, we got how to connect or create a database. Okay, and then one thing is important at a dot close. This is the most important thing. Why I'm telling it's most important? I mean, we can take it as an important thing, but for me, it's most why because if you won't close your file, okay, if you won't close your file, that will be okay for this. But here, if you're not going to close this your database, then it is going to give you an error. See, here you're going to get an error. Okay, so let me just give you a kind of an error. I just want some marks really. So, okay, warning. Yes, warning. That is, it is going to give you an error. Error of what? Going to give you an error that database locked. If you are not going to use this close, it is going to give you an error database locked. Means, write the further query, you have to delete some files from you, and then you can do so. Main important thing is use close. Okay, closing the database is one of the important things. So till here, what we did, we we understood how to create a database and how to close a database and how to interact with what we have to use to interact with the database. Till here, we understood this, right? Till here, we got to know or we understood this thing, how to do this stuff. Now. So then, the next thing, I just run this thing, and now A equals SQ dot connect, connect. And now, see, till now we were only creating, now I'm going to connect with my database. Suppose I want to use my database practice or prac1 dot db, close it, right? Now, B equals same thing, A dot cursor. Okay. Now, see, SQL, in SQL, we'll write the queries. So here in Python, you want to write the SQL queries. What we are going to use is B dot execute. Now, write the queries inside this. What will the first query? We created a database, right? Now, in order to create a table, we have to use create. Remember, SQL, okay, this thing is not case sensitive. While you're writing the query inside the string, it won't be case sensitive. See, any whatever we are writing in this, create, I want to create a table, so create table. Let us take it as student info, okay, student info, okay. So use this student underscore info and insert the values. What will be the values now? ID, which will be int, okay, name, which should be your varchar. Means, see, suppose you're having some fixed words and all, you're going to use character, okay, for fixed things. But if your letters means the length of your letters, like see, example, everyone has their own name, and the length of everyone name won't be same. The length of my name will be like 5 to 4 or 6, 7, 8. Okay, the other person will have its length of his name as maybe 10, maybe 2, or maybe 3, right? Yes. So in that case, we use varchar, and yeah, by the way, you have to declare how much varchar you're going to take. Like I need only 20, so my 11 will be that. Now, other than name, what we'll have marks. Okay, marks, which will be again my float. Okay, and then that last we have is nothing but text. Also, I'll just write here as info and the text. Okay, not write any sentence at all. I'll go to now here. One thing is to understand that whatever I'm writing in this string, okay, whatever I'm writing in this string are not case sensitive. Okay, they are not case sensitive. What do I mean by that? See, if I write this C as capital C, it won't change. It is not because it's a string. No, that's not the case. In SQL, actually, SQL is not a case sensitive language. Okay, like see, Python, if place of this, if I just write a capital S, it is going to throw me an error. I have to definitely write a small. If it is small, I have to go for small. If it is capital, I have to write a capital. But here, if I'm going to change the table in place of small, I'm going to use a capital, nothing is going to happen. Still, it's going to run. This is what we can do. So it's not a case sensitive. Not case sensitive means capital letter or small. Both are same. Okay, here both are same. Nothing is different here. Okay, this is one thing you have to understand. Now the other thing is the data types. What are the data types? Means it defines what type of data you're having. See, integer, number type. Okay, float, nothing but decimal. Okay, decimal type. Varchar means in terms of in Python we use string, but in SQL we use character. Varchar means variable. Okay, that nothing but yeah, they do the same work but have some different limits. Text itself is, but it is used for writing in sentence. Okay, now, so what type of data I've used? Varchar I used. Even I used float for the decimal. Okay, and I used text and all. Now, what I did, I created a table and this, and I'm going to close the file. Again, shift, enter, or before closing, one thing, I have to save the changes, right? Whatever changes I'm making, I have to save that in order. I'm going to use commit a dot commit, and then that's it. Run this. Done. Your database have been connected, got interacted, it created a table, and now you have saved the changes and it closed. This is how you are going to create a table here. Got it? This is one thing. Most of the cases, what happens is, I'll just do one thing. I'll just copy the whole stuff, and again, I'll paste it here. So here, same thing. Again, the cursor and all, I'm going to use. Okay, for you, I'm just going to erase this thing from here. Okay, you know, right? This is one where we are creating the database and here we are closing the database. Inside this, we are going to write everything. B equals a dot sq. I mean, no, a dot cursor, right? Then b dot execute, execute. Okay, and inside I'm going to write the query. Now, see, I created a table. Okay, I created the columns in the table. Okay, what do you mean by structured query language? Where you have rows and the column. Okay, the rows and the columns you have in this. That is called a structured query language. So here I'm going to first of all I'm going to insert the value. Then we see insert into what will be our table. What was the table name here again? Student info, right? Insert into student info, and then you're going to do here is nothing but this thing. And now values, values. See, SQL, the language which we are using means a type of what is a high level language. It's very easy for you. Very easy. See, do we? I'm going to use some other thing. No, create table. Here clearly we can understand by creating a table, right? Insert into. Clearly we are understanding what we are doing here. Means here we are inserting the values. The name is telling, right? Insert into. We are inserting some value into student info. That's student table, right? Values. What are the values which we are giving? So understand this thing. It's not that thing that you have to butify it. You have no understand. Understanding is the most important thing. You don't need to butify things. Understand the functions here. Understand how we are writing the query. It's important to know how you're writing the query. Okay? Now, what are the values? Whatever values now I'm going to give here, that should be same in same order. Means first I should give the ID. Next I should give the name, then marks, then info. If you're going to change the order, means if you're going to give the first name, then ID and all, it's going to throw you an error. If the database have changed, like in place of ID is nothing but an int. But if I'm going to give a string there, it is what it will think. I have to store that in ID, and ID is integer. Or basically, if I write here the name as like one, the ID which I'm giving is two, one, two, okay, and or whatever, right? One, two, I'm giving, and here if I'm going to write the marks as something KLM, if I'm writing it at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it is going to throw me an error. As per the data type, this thing should be there and it should be in order. Means order in the sense, first of all, ID. Let us take that as 0010. Okay, name. Okay, so the name, let us give it something else. AML. Okay, comma. See, even though you're giving the whole thing in the string, it's important that while writing the SQL language, give the name also in the string. Okay, string is important. This is nothing but this. We're writing the query. These codes are nothing but for the queries, and these codes are for the name because the name is a character, and the characters we are writing a single quotes or double quotes in this. So it is mandatory that you should write this. It means it's important, right? Now, next, what was the thing marks, right? So 8.75 or 83, whatever we take, 87. Okay, as we're taking fruit, so let us take it as 87.4. Not even just take it as 87. What? And info. What are we getting info? So, um, this person is is a good boy, right? Then I'm going to commit the change. A dot commit. Now, most of the people what they do is they write B dot commit, and sometimes this error might get for you B dot close. So first of all, just understand this thing. Here I created the database. I connected with the here I created the database. I connected with the then I executed. Now what I did, commit and close. But here have a look. It gave me okay. So any you just forgot to comma. Insert B dot execute. Hmm, I'll do one thing. Let's give this thing single quotes. Let's run this thing. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Now have you see before it was giving me an error. If you haven't just rewind it back for 5, 10 seconds, and then you can see what was the error I was getting before. Okay. Now before what I did was in place of writing this again, I just do the same thing. In double quotes, I gave again a double quote. So it is giving me an error, syntax error I'm getting. So in double quotes, you have to give a single. Okay, that is mandatory. Not it's going to throw you an error. Now next thing, what I did in place of writing a dot execute, sorry, in place of writing a dot commit, I wrote a dot execute here. That is the main thing I did, right? Okay, database, like set up, right? Hmm. No. Okay, so here. what happened was I just got an error, right? That my database have been logged. And here, if anything is showing like your database have been logged, nothing as yet in Google Colab, go here and just check for there will be a file you might be getting here. Practice one dot journal you will get. Okay, so for now, let me just check with this. It should get it should actually execute, but okay now it should actually do that. Just check it's connected. Fine, I just want here we get a file named dot practice one. What was the database name? Practice one, right? Practice one dot general something you will get. So that thing is important, but yeah, give me a minute. Let me just see what is the problem with this. So yeah, mhm. It should have given me the file here somewhere. Okay, fine, no problem. Let's just reload this thing. Reload, just save this changes, and for now we'll just reload this stuff. And let's see. Actually, it should give you the file here as well. So first of all, we'll run the already. No, 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 just check again. Okay, fine. However, here you're going to get something. Okay, fine, no problem. Here, if it is getting more problem, no need of that. Delete the file and run the cell where you're having that. Okay, here I created. So I'll just do this. Okay, then I'll just see when I just let's run that cell. What happened? Database having it. Now I'm going to run this cell. Okay, then again I'm going to run this cell. Hmm. So by mistakenly in SQL, what I did in Google Colab was I disconnected my Google Drive. But fine, no problem. Again, I created the database. I did this. Again, it's done. Now, I inserted the value. I want to check the things here now. Now, the important thing, I want to check the things. Okay, I want to check my thing. So what I'll do, I'll just copy the whole stuff. I'm just going to change one thing here. Inside this, in place of writing all this, see, in Python we use print, in SQL we use select this asterisk. Okay, here, this star mark or multiply, whatever you tell, this is nothing but this meaning of this is all. Okay, means wherever you're going to use means here, if you're using this thing, it's nothing but the meaning is all. Select all. Param, what is the data table name? Student SD info. Student info. And just what you do now, here we are retrieving the data. So I want to get my data. I want to see the tables and all. So what I will do, I'll just give print b dot fetch all. Right? All. And I'll run this. So okay. Fine, fine, fine. I got that. This I got because what I did was the last time, by mistakenly, I just gave this thing. I just by mistakenly I did this. In place of writing this inside, I just wrote it outside. So what I will do, I'll just take it inside and remove the X. Okay, syntax is important here. Now I'll run this. See, I got this was my ID, name, marks, and this is the text. Right here. Important thing to know is whatever the result you are getting, it is in the form of list of tuple. Means the rows are in tuple. Okay, the table is a list of tuple. Okay, means the data is nothing but first it will be in a list. Then whatever value row one, row two, row three, they are in the tuple. Row one. Okay, this is row two. I'll just write it. Whatever your data is having in the row one will be in the tuple. Row two data will be in again a tuple, and so on. row 3, so on till how many columns you're going to make, rows you're going to make. Row 4 means your rows are in tuples. Row them. Right. Okay. And this is main thing. Till here we understood how to create, how to insert the values, how to retrieve the values. Right. Okay. In place of this, even you can just give here as same thing. You can just give here this as in place of writing C equals. Okay. So I'm giving C equals b dot execute, and in place of writing fetch all and all, what I'm doing. Okay. Sorry. No, no, not that. Actually, this is the part where I have to see. C equals b dot fetch all and print C. Print C. And then run. So I can give it in under a variable, or I can just directly give it here as in a print. Fact all, okay, this part I'm going to give it in a variable because I want to print that part, right? You can directly use the print statement, or you can just take it in a variable. It's up to you. However you want to be, you can just go with that as well. Okay, fine now. Fine, fine. Again, I'll do one thing. Okay, now till here we created and all we inserted. Okay, after this, what we did, we started uh, retrieving and retrieving the data, and what else we did? We also learned how to insert the values above. So I'll do one thing. Wherever I started my insertion and all, I'll just go from here. Right here, from here I'll just write. This is nothing where I'm giving a heading, right? Insertion, where I started insertion, and next what we did, we just start retrieving or selecting the data whatever we want as per our require. If I want all, I'll just do select all. If I want some other thing, I'll just apply some conditions or the clause. That is the main thing. Retrieving I did, and then what else I did is nothing but fetching, means which we use a fetch here. Okay, these things we did till here. Okay, I hope till here it's clear.